What's going on, people? Glad you're back. I'm excited to run it back here. Drummond International. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm excited about today's podcast. Just want to say again, I'm thankful for all the followers, those who are tuning in each week. Appreciate your support. I see our list of followers is growing. It's continuing to climb. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. So as always, I'm always trying to provide content for you, things that you can take with you for your life. I believe, in this day and age, we need knowledge, okay? We need knowledge. We have a lot of opportunities to gain knowledge different places, but we also need wisdom. Wisdom is different than knowledge, okay? Wisdom is the ability to apply the knowledge that you have. And actually in the Bible, it talks about wisdom from heaven, and that's insight and intuition that only God can bring you, okay? So I'm excited. I'm always excited about these podcasts, to be before you and just to share, deliver some things that you can download, so to speak, and carry it on in your life. So for the month of December, I said the title will be His Promise, Your Reward. And I started that last week, and I talked about, fulfilling the promises that God has for you, but also too, the promises are great, the destination is great, but don't forget about the journey. And I talked about the journey is just as important or more important than the destination. Because along the way, there's some things that you need to pick up, so some things you need to learn. There's some things in the process that's going to develop your character. So that's very important, okay? That's very important, is that you understand your character is important in terms of you fulfilling your destiny. Because the last thing we want to see is you reach your destiny and you fulfill the promise, however, you have a small character, okay? Or you don't have the discipline or integrity to maintain. It's one thing to get to the mountain. It's another thing to be equipped to maintain it, okay? We see every day in society, people who are not happy, people who are making decisions and doing things that is hurting their career, that's hurting their success, okay? And that means there were some chinks in their armor en route to the top, so to speak, to the top. We never arrive somewhere. We're always steadily growing and climbing. But just remember that, your attitude, your character, things that you pick up along the way are very important, because the next thing that will lead to that, or the next thing that leads to, is going to lead me to what I'm going to talk about today, okay? So today is going to be centered around, I'll start with, okay, we're talking about His promises, but let me say this. God has an ultimate plan for you. So I have 3 P's. His plan, which involves His promises, which eventually will impact people. So there's 3 P's. Plan, promise, people, okay? Whenever you are developing, becoming something, and you're spreading your wings, you're fulfilling your destiny, the great thing about that is what God has in mind for all of us, there's always people involved. Okay, so leadership involves influence, and influence involves people. So I want to share today, and I want us to be mindful of, when your heart is geared towards helping people, okay? When your heart is geared towards helping people, then your platform will be secure. I'll say it again. When your heart is geared towards helping people, your platform will be secure. What do I mean by that? If you look around, think about the people that have influenced you. Think about past leaders. Think about mentors you've had. And this message today is really for mentors and leaders. I know all of you are watching. There's somebody watching you. whether it's your son, daughter, whether it's a coworker, whether you have a job in which you're working with young people. There's somebody watching. Maybe there's a neighbor who looks up to you, you're getting conversations with, but there's somebody looking up to you. In some capacity, you are a leader or a mentor. So this message is for you. Sometimes we think mentor and leader, you're only a mentor or leader if you have the title. Sometimes we're looking for a title to signify or to validate that I'm a leader, okay? There are leaders every day. There are leaders in society who don't have the title, okay? A title doesn't make you a leader. There are a lot of people who have the title and are ineffective leaders, okay? We see that every day. There are people who have a certain title, you know, whether executive director, whether they're president, CEO, whatever the case might be, and they're ineffective leaders, okay? There are people who don't have a title, okay? There are people who are just regular co-workers, people who just go about their business every day, not focusing on if they have a certain title, and who are very effective in what they're doing. They're influencing a lot of people. So leadership isn't hinging on your title, all right? So just keep that in mind. You are a mentor or a leader regardless of your title. Now, what you got to understand is, what's important is you have a heart, you maintain a heart for people because relationships matter. God's promises for you to receive and walk in, God is always mindful of people, okay? So he'll raise up a man or raise you up because there's a certain group of people you're supposed to reach. He'll raise up a man to create a new era, okay? And I look at my life, you know, I always reflect on my life, my experiences. When I look at my life, I see where, you know, my talent, my gift, play basketball, to speak, you know, motivational speaker. I've traveled the world. I'm speaking in different countries, Australia, South America, France. Been all around the globe. I've been to Russia. But my gift opened the door for me to be able to impact people. You got to get that. My gift, my talent opened the door, okay, for me to have the opportunity to reach certain people, okay? At the end of the day, it's all about who are you influencing at the end of the day, okay? I remember when I was in South America. We shared this experience. We was in South America, and we were playing. I was playing for this team, this particular Christian professional team, okay? And we were traveling around playing against the different pro clubs. They call them clubs, club teams in certain countries. We was in South America, and because you're an American, number one, okay? Secondly, you know, you have this talent of basketball. The people flock to you, okay? They flock to you. They come to you. They want your autograph. You know, they want to be around you. And though they can't speak the language, you know, and we were in Bolivia, you know, they speak Spanish, and in some places in South America they speak Portuguese. But, you know, even though we couldn't speak the language, there was still a connection with the people. And I want to share this. There was a particular toddler. I would say he was probably 11 or 12 years old. You know, he couldn't speak the language. We didn't say two words to each other. You know, we spoke through like sign language because he couldn't understand English, and we couldn't really understand him when he spoke his dialect and so forth. So whenever we had games in this particular city, and we was there for maybe a week, he was always there. He always showed up. And so I remember a good friend of mine, Dexter Williams. I don't know if Dexter's watching this. That's my guy, Dexter Williams. Great guy, played with the Harlem Globetrotters. Has had some great experiences. Has a heart to reach people, young people. We've known each other for a number of years. We were on this tour together, and along with another friend of mine, Charlie Fortin, who I've had on this podcast before. Charlie, great friend of mine as well. We were on this team together, traveling to South America. We was there, and there was just this one young man, and who followed us everywhere. And you could tell that his home life probably wasn't really that great. He had always had on clothes that were dirty. He had the same clothes on multiple days. He just looked scruffy, long hair. Sometimes he was barefooted, sometimes he had old shoes on. Just trying to paint a picture for you. And I'm still talking about your gift, okay, making room for you, but you fulfilling the promises. But at the end of the day, it's about you impacting and influencing people. When your heart is in the right place to influence people, your platform will be secure, okay? So, one day we decided to, take this young man under our wing, and again, we couldn't say much, but he understood, which means I'm hungry, he would say that, or thirsty, or, how are you doing? Good. We spoke like that. One day we had a chance to talk to him even further. We gave him some clothes. Dexter, who could cut hair, Dexter gave him a haircut. Gave him some new clothes. We got some clothes that fit him. Gave him some clothes, and man, the smile on this kid's face, I still remember to this day. Now this was years ago. He was so happy. He got a haircut. He came the next day we saw him. He was fresh with the clothes we got him. He had a haircut. We gave him a couple duffel bags. He was carrying a duffel bag, probably was empty. He probably didn't have anything in it, but because he didn't have much. But he carried his bag around, and this guy, his countenance and his appearance and his face, everything changed. Okay? And what am I talking about? I'm talking about who is that young man? Who is that young woman? Who is that person? Who is that neighbor that is waiting for you, okay, to step up, okay, and bring life and cause them to come alive and to see life differently? Who is that person for you, okay? We could have easily just, spoke to him from a distance. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Good. And we did it with a lot of people. You can't befriend and connect with everybody, okay? But because our heart was in the right place, we was able to impact this young man, okay? And you have to be mindful of that, okay, in your life, in your journey. Don't be so focused on the end result. The end result will take care of itself. If you're taking the right steps, okay, and in the process, okay, you're connecting with the right people, okay? Some people you connect with, okay, you're supposed to influence them, and you're supposed to feed them, so to speak. You're supposed to influence them. There's some people you connect with along the way. They're supposed to influence you, okay? There's some people you're supposed to connect with, and they're going to guide you. They're going to provide things for you, okay? There's some people you're going to connect with. They're just going to be like a brother to you, okay? You guys are going to, encourage each other. You're going to build each other up. So there's 3 different types of people along the way. But it's up to you to be mindful of that and recognize that there are certain places that I've gotten in life because of a certain relationship. There's certain places, certain doors have opened for me because of a certain relationship that I developed in years prior to that. Okay? And if you don't understand that, you may miss out on certain things. You may miss out on certain doors opening because you didn't embrace the moment. Okay? And I'll be honest, I had to learn this. Like this wasn't something that I put into practice when I was younger, but as I developed as a person, as I read different books, as I listened to people that I respected a lot, as I did those things, I came to understand that, life is more than just the destination. Okay? Life is more than that. And when you understand that, let me say this too. You know, there are people that I stay in contact with now. There are people that I'm friends with, or I know on a personal level, that has lasted 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, what am I saying? There are relationships I have that have stood the test of time. You know, and now let me say this too. Some relationships have an expiration date. Some people you're only supposed to connect with, be with for a certain amount of time. Then you're supposed to, you'll move on from there and they move on. That's okay. But there are some relationships where you're supposed to walk with together, okay? And they may not have an end date, but it's up to you. It's up to you to know and understand and have the wisdom. I talked about wisdom in the beginning, okay? Wisdom to apply the knowledge that you have. This person is supposed to be with me. Maybe that's why you're having so much friction. Maybe that's why you're having so many challenges to that relationship. It's because that relationship is a part of your destiny. Okay? There's problems happening, the things keep happening because that relationship is very powerful. Okay, but again, it's up to you to be able to determine it. And you can pray about it and ask God to show you. There's certain people that you're supposed to be with in the journey. All right? So, hope you got some out of that. You know, again, I want to provide content. I'm excited to come before you, and I hope that you can apply this to your life, share it with your friends. Give me some feedback. Let me know, what is going on with you. I would also like to hear from you and leave me some comments as far as, or you can message me. If there's some things you want to share personally, I'm always open for that too. All right? Thanks for your time. Always remember, you're destined for greatness. All right? I'll see you on Thursday.